Hello, welcome everyone. We are very excited to present to you our third episode of COVID Care webinar brought to you by Empezar Wellness and School of Awakening. Today, we have a special guest speaker with us who is joining us live from Toronto, Canada, presenting Mr. Ajoy Sharma. He is a motivational speaker and lifestyle coach with a very interesting journey, and today he will be sharing insights with us on microbiome and immunity.
आप सभी का बहुत बहुत स्वागत है। हाँ, ये हमारा तीसरा एपिसोड है। एम्पसा वेलनेस और स्कूल ऑफ अवेकनिंग ये कोविड केयर सीरीज चला रहे हैं और इस सीरीज का आज तीसरा एपिसोड है। आज हमारे साथ हैं मिस्टर अजॉय शर्मा, जो अभी कुछ ही देर में लाइव हमसे बातें करेंगे सीधा टोरंटो कनाडा से। वो हमें बताएंगे गट माइक्रोबायोम या आंट माइक्रोबायोम के बारे में, और हमें बताएंगे हमारी इम्यूनिटी या रोग से लड़ने की शक्ति कैसे बढ़ाई जाए। सो आपके लिए पेश है मिस्टर अजॉय शर्मा।
Okay, so good morning, good evening, good afternoon, right? So this is Ajay Sharma. I'm from Toronto. Subah ka kafi, it's a nice weather, right? So, and now basically I'm going to talk about, like gut microbiome. Gut means पेट के जो बैक्टीरिया होते हैं, उनका हम लोग के हेल्थ पे क्या असर होता है? I'm going to talk about that.
Thank you so much, Mr. Sharma, for being here with us. It is a pleasure to having you here with us because today is all about the role of gut microbiome in building our immunity. And this is a very important topic, especially now when we are facing the global pandemic. There are many things that are happening within our body. And following this thread, we hear these days a lot about the importance of gut microbiome. Would you please tell us more on this? What is exactly gut microbiome?
Okay, so I'll start with explaining what is gut basically. And before that, I would like to, like have this disclaimer that, this is just educational purposes, right? And it's not my responsibility. Your doctor is your primary care provider, and you, whenever you're implementing something, listen to your body and implement it slowly. Okay, so now I'm going to talk about what is gut. Gut is basically when you eat your food, right? And when you eliminate from your body, right? That all the organs involved in basically is a gut, right? It's called GI tract also. But we are going to talk today mostly about large intestine and small intestine, because most of the microbiomes that stays in that area, right? So we'll focus on that. Okay.
Mm-hmm. And when we talk about the gut, what is the microbiome in our gut?
Okay, so I'll not go into detail, but million years ago, right? When bacteria didn't find any place to survive because this whole environment was full of oxygen, so they found a place, and they found a place on our body. So basically, if you see there's a bacteria in your ear, eyes, everywhere, like your belly button, breast duct, everywhere, right? But and they have colonized your body and they help us a lot. But we're going to talk about microbiomes that stays in our gut, right? In fact, your gut, basically, your intestine is the entry point of your food, and this is one of the most riskiest place because all kinds of pathogens and infection can come. So our gut has almost more than 70% of microbiome and almost 70% of our immune system there, right? And it has got some good bacteria, some bad bacteria, right? Because gut microbiome is basically virus, bacteria, right? Uh, and other some worms also. But we will concentrate on gut bacteria. So our aim should be to increase good bacteria and reduce the bad bacteria.
Right. And you said that it's the 70% of the immune system that is in our gut microbiome. That is a lot. That is a big, big number. And knowing about this, what are the benefits of improving our good gut microbiome?
So if you see, right, uh, in fact, there are some bad actors in your gut also, but we have to crowd them, right, with the good bacteria, right? And if you see the COVID-19, it's a disease of people who have got some compromised health issues, right? Obesity, belly fat, right, everything. And all these issues starts with your gut. If you do not have good bacteria, right? Inflammation start, and it's called chronic inflammation. It's a sort of the trickle effect, right? One drop at a time, and you will have insulin resistance. Insulin resistance means body needs more insulin to take care of your carbohydrate, and then basically, so it improves your insulin resistance, and then weight loss, inflammation goes down, right? And then your immune system, becomes strong, and whatever you eating, right, you do of whatever your gut bacteria digest. Even if you are eating very healthy food, but your gut bacteria is not able to break them down, right? So
Right.
basically, that is your nutrients become available. And next one is basically it creates some neurotransmitter, right? Basically that reduces your stress, anxiety, and poor concentration. So basically, foundation of health is basically improving your gut microbiome.
Thank you so much for sharing this. A few weeks ago, we had a webinar on how food can heal our entire body. Today, we talk about the gut microbiome, the good gut microbiome that is in our gut. How we can, what are the things that are keeping our good microbiome, good gut microbiome in imbalance? What are the things that are negatively affecting our gut microbiome?
Okay, so what happens, right? Okay, so question. Let me tell a few line here. That your gut microbiome is basically populated when you go through your birth canal, right? You get from your mother and then milk, right? Basically, and you pick up dirtier stuff from the floor. So basically, that you populate your gut microbiome. But what happens when you start using antibiotic, antibacterial soap, pesticide? The food is our food is compromised today, and sugar, processed food, alcohol, right? If you're not getting enough sleep, and if you are stressed out, right? And again, the quality of food is not great because we are growing same thing over and over. So the quality of soil has gone down. And I would like to add one thing here that people who go through traumatic experience, their gut bacteria get disturbed, and all kinds of health issues and obesity start at that time. So we have to take care of all these things.
That's important to understand that it's not only the food that we are eating on a daily basis, but it is also the quality of sleep, that it's also the stress, our environment, how we cope with those things that are also affecting our gut microbiome. And is it any way, is it possible that we can increase our good gut microbiome?
Okay, so basically, our aim should be, right, to increase good microbiome or bacteria, because what they crowd and they starve the bad bacteria. So first thing you have to do is start having fiber. Fiber has gone down drastically. If you take a processed food, your maida, right, इनको मैदा कहते हैं. They strip all the good stuff. और केवल खराब चीज बचता है. सेम थिंग दैट यू ट्राई टू लाइक इंक्रीज योर ये फाइबर का अमाउंट बढ़ाएं. आप लूज वेट लॉस जो होता है राइट, वो दैट वेट लॉस इज इम्पोर्टेंट. Fasting is one of the important thing, because what happens, one set of bacteria thrives when you are doing fasting, another survive when you are eating, right? So if you're eating 16 hours and you're just fasting for 8 hours, then you will have only one set of bacteria. So fasting is important. Quality of sleep is important. Try to align your sleep with your circadian rhythm. Go to bed by 10 a.m., right? 10 p.m. and get up by 6. 6, 7, whatever you like. And then avoid junk food, right? Because that kills the good bacteria, right? And consuming prebiotic and probiotic, that is very important.
Thank you. I sometimes have a feeling that now when we are in the lockdown, yes, we can improve our sleep quality, and avoiding junk food, it might be a little bit challenging, because we know that many companies offer takeaways, so people, while they work from home, they can actually might not have enough time to cook. But let's focus on the prebiotics and probiotics. I like that. What exactly are prebiotics and probiotics? Would you please give us some examples?
Sure. Okay, so probiotic, let me start with I mentioned probiotic here. Probiotic, the food that has got bacteria right in it, right? But even if you're eating probiotic, right? Probiotic, but you need to have some fertilizer for that, and that is called prebiotic. You can go back to previous slide, right? So basically, eating prebiotic is quite easy. Add a few things like a natural thing like a garlic, onions, leek, asparagus. I think इस इंडिया में ये अवेलेबल नहीं होगा, लेकिन वेस्टर्न वर्ल्ड में काफी पॉपुलर है. You can have your beans. इंडिया में बीन्स होता है, green vegetable जो भी हो. Basically, anything green is the blood of the fruit, right, or vegetable, right? So green banana is a very good source of resistant carb and probiotic. You can have mashed banana, जिसको चोखा हम लोग बोलते हैं इंडिया में, or you can have like all kinds of things you can prepare from green banana. Cocoa flax seed is one of the very important thing you can have. Lentils and psyllium husk, जिसको इंडिया में इसबगोल का भूसी भी बोलते हैं, वो भी जो है आपको जो है. But when you're having psyllium husk, just have 1 teaspoon at a time with 1 glass of water and followed by another glass of water. So these are the prebiotic you should have.
This is great, because we can see that garlic and onions are basically available almost everywhere. Flax
Exactly.
seeds are available everywhere. Coca, yes, we can get that as well. Lentils as well. Psyllium husk, not necessarily, but this is brilliant. This is really, really good information. That means we can definitely, wherever we are, we can source the prebiotics. And what about the probiotics?
Okay, so probiotics, right? It's quite easy you can make it home. I will say you should make it at home, okay? Like homemade yogurt, right? You just buy yogurt. If you don't have seed, just go and buy some organic yogurt, full fat milk, and just start making a yogurt with your instant pot or yogurt maker also, or in most of India they make at home. Another is a kefir. Kefir is another fermented milk, right? Or there's sometimes non-dairy also. Sauerkraut is basically you can make it at home, right? Shred some cabbage and put some water and some salt and let it set for 6, 7 days. And you will find lots of video on YouTube. Tempeh is a Japanese, like it's fermented soya bean. And then kimchi is another fermented cabbage, another vegetable from Korea. And the miso and kombucha tea is basically some people, and it has become very popular. You buy a SCOBY you can buy from Amazon, right? And you can start making fermented tea like a kombucha, and you can do pickling, right? For cucumber and then natto. And in India, it's called kanji. Kanji basically is nothing. You just use carrot, beetroots, and mustard right, powder, and ferment it in salt and water for 7 days, and that also helps a lot. And unprocessed cheese like cheddar, mozzarella, and Gouda. And there's something called fermented rice. You just take rice, cooked rice, put in a small cup, add some water, and let it sit for 12 hours on your kitchen counter. And after 12 hours, it becomes like a probiotic that also helps. And if you cannot find any of thing, right, if you want to improve your gut bacteria, then go good quality probiotic capsules.
I
It's quite
love
easy to make. Yeah.
Amazing. I love the fact that we can make probiotics at home, and even the fact that probiotics are available all over the world. We might not know that these are probiotics, but for example, sauerkraut is available in my home country. And I remember my grandmother, my mother making sauerkraut, and nothing tastes better like a sauerkraut in winter, for example.
Yeah.
And it's so easy to make it. We just need salt and water, right? And that's it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's it.
So easy. So would you please show us how we can make maybe a kefir or some other examples of probiotics? Do you have
Okay.
them ready with you?
Yeah. I have a few, right? Okay. So I'll start it like something called kefir, right? Okay. I don't know whether can you see this one or is it clear?
Yes, yes.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So I used to make at home, but what I found that sometimes I go and buy organic coffee, right? It looks like I'm going to show you, right? It looks like in India, जो लस्सी की तरह होता है, it has got some salty taste, right? You can see. Just sorry. So basically, it's like lassi, right? And
Yes.
you can buy seed from Amazon, right? So basically, you just just warm some milk, add some grains of coffee, right, and let it sit on your counter for 7 days, and it becomes so good, right? Okay, it's time to because it's almost 9 o'clock, and I take my first meal around 1 p.m., right? So you still have to wait for 4 hours, right? So this is one of the example of what you call the isolate, right? Where you can make it at home, and if you are in because one of my friend, right, she started following me for last month, right, and she brought from Amazon, right, and she makes kefir at home, because you should eat at least one fermented food, different fermented food in your one meal, like one prebiotic and one probiotic, right? Another thing that everybody knows, right? Our old everybody like a yogurt, right? It's a homemade yogurt. Because what happens when you're buying from a store, okay, it's easy, but you do not know how many live culture is there, right? It may be 5,000, it may be billion, right? So that's one thing. And I forget to mention one thing. It's called apple cider vinegar. I don't know if you see that, right?
Yes, we can see that. Yes.
Okay, this is one of the very good source of probiotic, and always try to buy unfiltered, unpasteurized, and with mother. Mother means it has got something that keeps bacteria alive, right? So
Mm.
always buy this one, right? With organic, with mother is very important, right? Another thing I would like to add something called, my daughter likes to drink something. I don't know why. She brought buttermilk. Buttermilk India में लस्सी की तरह होता है, right? छाछ जो होता है, right? So
Mm-hmm.
that is another thing, right? So that one thing, and then I will mention something called sauerkraut.
Yes.
Sauerkraut is basically pickle, right? It's quite easy. What you have to do, just first thing when you're making, just wash your hand 2-3 times so that there's no bacteria in your hand, right? And then shred some cabbage, right? Put in a jar, right? And mix with some salt and rub it,
Mm-hmm.
and then put in a jar, right? And let it sit in the counter for 7 days. And when something comes out, it's so good and so healthy, right? And it looks like something. I always take it with egg, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like it looks like something like that, right? If you see, right here, like
Yes.
basically it's a shredded cabbage, right? And that's what the last, not the least, right? Is our old what we call
Mm.
probiotic capsule. What I do sometimes when I'm fermenting something, like when I try to make cheese out of cashew, I add 2 of these, right? So basically, and let it sit on that counter for 2 3 days, right? So basically, that's what you can make at home, right? Or you can buy commercially if it's available, right? In India, it's not available that much, right? And then kanji is like take a bottle, right? And then add some salt and some carrot, right? Carrot and some, and that's what that's uh, that's what basically you can make it home or you can buy from outside.
Mm.
But one should eat one prebiotic and one probiotic almost in every meal. Having good gut is basically foundation of healthy lifestyle. And if you see the COVID-19 is
Mm-hmm.
basically having issues with the people who are old, where the immunity is compromised, and person who is obese or diabetic, right? All these can be improved, right? You remember there are a few things that last I would like to mention. Some people say I do not have willpower. No, it is not you or your willpower is forcing you to eat junk food. It is your gut bacteria. If you have good bacteria, you'll crave for good thing. If you have bad bacteria, you crave for sugar. So remember, it's not, you should not blame yourself. You should not blame victim, right? Basically, if you start eating good gut probiotic and prebiotic, you will start craving for good food. That's my mantra for.
That's really very very informative. I wonder how many of our listeners are very excited to start making their own home probiotics at home, because I definitely would like to make a kefir and see how that goes. I would be probably looking into the non-dairy one. I also, when we were preparing for this webinar, when we had the conversation, you, sir, mentioned about, you said something that really made me think, and it was from farm to table. Would you please explain that concept to our listeners
Sure,
and what
sure.
you meant by that?
Okay, I'll tell you, right? What happens whenever if you buy something from farmer, it comes to your table, right? That is perfect because you know what you are eating, at least right? So basically, farm to table is the best concept. From farm, it goes to factory, and factory to table. The moment a human being touches in factory, because they have to increase the shelf life, they have to make the food tasty and addictive, right? If you see, there's so many scientists, they just spend time to make you like eat some junk food, right? So basically always try to like make your own food, right? Or at least try, like if you're going for processed food, something's coming for, if you're eating something out of box, it's not healthy. And I found one thing in Toronto, right? My daughter, right, she's 26-year-old, she lives in downtown, right? And I found that now there are some company, if you order, they will send you the raw material like onion, garlic, oil, everything, chicken, right? So you can prepare your own food too. At least you know that you are eating healthy, right? If you go to any restaurant, right, and another biggest problem right now is vegetable oil, right? They are inflammatory oil, right, and bad fat. So basically, if you're buying from a box, again, it may have some inflammatory oil or a vegetable oil. So basically, you should rely on something called farm to table. Should be, you cannot always do that, but at least try to do maximum number of time.
Thank you so much. And we will definitely have more webinars with Mr. Ajoy Sharma and his expertise in keeping our good gut microbiome and how we can improve that, and many more information there is available as well. And I very much look forward to having you share with us during the other webinars. And what is also beautiful, that it is possible to improve our gut biome, because at this moment we are suffering from some because at this moment our gut microbiome is not in balance. It doesn't mean that it cannot be improved. That's the amazing thing, and we are looking forward to connecting with you very, very soon. Thank you so much for sharing your knowledge with us today.
Okay, thank you very much, and thanks for listening to me. Thank you. Thank you.